Yo, 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 what's up? It is celebrity photographer Ty Waterman. Let me break that down one more time. It's celebrity photographer Ty Waterman with the BKS experience. Today, we're going to talk about R. Kelly. I was on here the other day, talked a little bit about Diddy, talked about my experiences taking photos at a Diddy party. But I want to break down a little bit of the R. Kelly case and then kind of talk about what some of the updates are. So, you might want to sit back and chill, tap in, drop some comments, let me know what your thoughts are. If you're watching this after the live is over, you can tap in with me by telling me if you are a fan of R. Kelly, because it is undeniable that R. Kelly has fans. We can't take that away. We know that he has fans. We know that they love him. And I'm not trying to attack his legacy. So before anyone watches this and possibly feels offended, I'm not trying to attack R. Kelly's legacy at all. I just want to kind of break down some of the R. Kelly information as a celebrity photographer, as someone who took photos of him. So as we start to talk more about it, but if you can let me know if you're a fan and what your favorite R. Kelly song is or moment. And if you're not a fan, you can still participate and just let me know what are your thoughts about the trial, the cases, surviving R. Kelly, and so forth. And if you at one point even liked his music, it's a song you can't stand, because I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. I talked about some of it the other day, like what my song was that I really didn't like versus one of the songs that I really loved. So we're gonna get into it. So just kind of chill out. I just want to wait for a few more people to possibly roll in here. How are you doing? I am celebrity photographer Ty Waterman with the BKS experience, and I took this photo of Mr. R. Kelly and a few more. So I'm gonna talk about being at a concert. Yeah, I was at R. Kelly concert. I took photos for one of his sold out concerts here in my state. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit, and we're gonna talk about some more. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. All right. With that said, I'm probably going to have to repeat myself because there's going to be people coming in here and they're going to be saying some wild stuff, or they're going to come in here and they might ask questions of something that I already covered. So please bear with me. All right. So what is my connection to R. Kelly? My connection is I am a celebrity photographer, and somewhere around, I want to say 10 years ago, I was offered to take photos at an R. Kelly concert. I am not necessarily a fan of R. Kelly. I never was a fan. Um, and I'm not saying like I wasn't because of the allegations. It's just when it comes to like certain music, I like I'm a purist of R&B, right? And when I say a purist, I like the stuff that's more melodic, that's more vocally singing, right? And I've always felt like R. Kelly yelled a lot in his music, and that's just my opinion. My opinion. You can let me know what your opinion is. Like I believe I could fly. There was a lot of yelling in that, right? Does it mean that it was a bad song? No, it's just what my preference was. I'm more of like that smooth music, like a Maxwell. I love the neo soul stuff, like Music Soul Child. Things of songs of that nature. And personally, especially back then, I preferred more of the groups. Keep it to myself. Keep what to myself, Jimmy Jim. Let me know what should I keep to myself. Don't just say something and then it's like vague, because then I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah. So, anyways, what happened is you said the allegations. You mean facts, I think. Well, I'm saying allegations, but they possibly it could be the facts too. But yeah. So I've never been like, R. Kelly. I want to. I'm listening to his music. However, right, I owned R. Kelly and Public Announcement. So I don't know if any of y'all heard that album. You had Honey Love on there, and a bunch of other songs. I think Honey Love was on that album. Um, that was goated. For me, that was goated, right? And so I wasn't listening to R. Kelly, but my boy Ace, every time we get in the car, he wanted to play some R. Kelly. And he played the album that had Religious Love on it. Whew! I was like, yo, that is dope. So I did love that. You said my mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yeah. How am I feeling today? I'm actually feeling quite good. God's grace be with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You said you got a mad boogie hanging on there. Here, let me put it on you. Okay, now you got it on you. You said R. Kelly was never that good for me. I mean, you just got to be honest with yourself. If he was good, yeah. Now, his pen game was immaculate. We cannot say anything or deny that. He's wrote for so many people, right? And some people say if you take him off the map, some of these people would have never been hot. True or not true, I don't know, right? So let's take it back. One of my favorite artists who was a member of a group back in the day, had so much money, literally became addicted to drugs and alcohol, became homeless, and then got put back on the map. The reason why he got put back on the map was because of a song that R. Kelly wrote. And people don't talk about this, right? I don't know if anybody knows who am I talking about. This is an old school artist who R. Kelly helped get back on the map. And a lot of people don't know that he wrote this song for it. You said, I'm going to wipe it on your shirt. You can't, I put the booger on you because you said I had it. So now you got it. There's no takebacks. Kelly is the GOAT. Okay. Ron Isley. Did he do some stuff with him? Yes, he did stuff with Ron Isley. In fact, that's not even who I was talking about. But he helped put Ron Isley back on the map by helping create the aura, the legend of Mr. Biggs. It wasn't Lionel Richie. I'm gonna give you one more guess. Let me see somebody guess it. He was a part of a big group. If you go to family reunions, if you go to big functions and cookouts, they play a lot of this group songs. But this person became a solo artist. And somewhere in early 2000s, R. Kelly wrote a song that had this man's name in it. And that song catapulted this man back. It wasn't Maze. All right, so that was the last one. This person is my uncle. He's your uncle too. You just don't know it. Uncle Charlie Wilson. Think about it. The song, hey girl, how you doing? My name is Charlie, last name Wilson. I was wondering, R. Kelly. R. Kelly wrote that bad boy. So we're talking about the Gap being Yearning for Your Love. You Dropped the Bomb on Me, and so much more. But he became homeless, and he talks about it, how homeless he was. I think he went homeless, he went bankrupt, and all this other stuff that was going on. But then out of nowhere, R. Kelly and him linked up somehow. They got a song together, and it made him like come back, and it tapped him into a new generation. It tapped him into a new generation. So Uncle Charlie went from being a classic 70s and early 80s kind of feel to that solo artist in the late 90s, early 2000s, and R. Kelly wrote that song, and it just catapulted him, And yes, I was saying how earlier my favorite, one of my favorite artists is Maxwell. I've seen him multiple times. I've taken photos of Maxwell multiple times. I've taken photos of Charlie Wilson multiple times, right? But Maxwell, Fortunate, when I heard that broke my heart. And you know how a lot of people would be like, oh, you can't take away R. Kelly's legacy. I'm not going to stop listening to R. Kelly music. And then it was like, in the beginning, it was hurting me because I love a lot of his music. But then I had to say, you know what? My thing is, I'm just not going to brag about, I'm not going to stop listening to his music, because then you start to like elevate him as much and people can't see that. I'm just trying to see if it's Little Reese. What the you talking to? I don't know what that is. Can we trade Kelly for Tank? Yo, don't dog my boy Tank out. Takes my man. Redmi 14C. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming it's your phone. You said that forehead is huge. I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? I am cool with it. You know, I guess you have to tell me to compensate for the little things in your life. You said Zoo R. Kelly is underrated. I don't know what songs was on that the Zoo one. You said your legacy is farts. Yeah, it probably stinks over there. Yeah, Uncle Charlie came back well after being down bad. Yes, he was very down bad. Redmi C user. Yep. Okay, whatever, buddy. Did you know Lionel Richie and Kenny Rogers shared music and performed together? Um, did I know that? No, I didn't. I didn't know that. Stevie Wonder sang the original hook to Gangsta's Paradise. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. My thoughts on Epstein. I'm gonna save that for another time, my buddy. Tank is a studio artist. Actually, Tank is more than a studio artist. Um, and if you look up right now, he got a song with Aaliyah. I know it ties into R. Kelly. He has a song with Aaliyah, and allegedly, not even allegedly, there's an album that's going to come out at any point that Tank basically wrote this song based off of I guess recordings that they had, and from what my understanding is, this is stuff that's unreleased. There's no AI on it. It's all Aaliyah's vocals mixed with Tank vocals. Why is this significant? For a couple reasons. Tank used to sing background for Aaliyah. Some of y'all didn't know that. Aaliyah is attached to R. Kelly. They were legally married when she was 15. This is facts. No allegations. No none of that. Yeah. You said everybody know he wrote for Michael, and yes, he wrote for Michael Jackson too. Um, but you know, the funny thing is, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly writing for Michael Jackson wasn't necessarily a break him or make him kind of thing, because Michael Jackson was Michael. Michael Jackson was Michael. For Charlie Wilson, that made him. For Ron Isley, that made him. Ron Isley was facing tax evasion. I think he was even locked up for it at some point. He was basically homeless in the sense that financially he was hit. You know what I mean? And then Mr. Biggs came out with that cane and he was good. You said, is it forward frowned upon me to play the song to satisfy you? P. Diddy and R. Kelly. Such a great song. Listen, play your music, you know. Michael Jackson asked Eddie Van Halen to play the guitar solo in Thriller. He did. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's a dope thing. Yeah, play your music, right? When everything first came out, I'm at like weddings, right, a lot, so as a photographer, and everyone wants to step in the name of love. Everyone. And it's like, what do you do? I'm being paid to be there. I can't walk out because I went out of protest for R. Kelly. I cannot walk out. So I sit and I take the pictures, and just realizing that the music also brings joy to people. It's just sad that, you know, in some cases the way the music was created, it seems like you're ready. I don't see nothing wrong. Aaliyah's album Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. You know, like you dropping hints left and right. I don't know, but that's just me. And so when I took these photos, right? This is one. This is another. There's plenty of photos that I've taken, but I put the album out And I did they go viral? Some of them went viral, but as the case came out, I took them down. Why did I take them down? Well, I work with youth, and a lot of the young females I work with have dealt with trauma in relation to things that was going on in the case, family drama that kind of related. I have my own family members that have went through things, friends that went through things. So I did not want to be insensitive to the people around me. So I took the photos down. So we're talking, like I said, this is the photos were taken a while ago, and then 2018ish when it started coming back up, early 20, like 2021 or something like that. Surviving R. Kelly happened. I had to, like, just tap in, and then I stopped talking about everything was going on because people are blinded by quick little information that they get on the internet, and they don't get the facts, right? So you said Bill Bellamy has a hilarious story of R. Kelly and Aaliyah. YouTube it. I'm going to do that because funny, a few months ago I was hanging out with Bill Bellamy. I did a quick interview. If you go to my page, you might be able to find it on there. Bill Bellamy is a cool dude. I got to check him out. I would believe him in that story too. You have to see the music and the person apart from each other. As soon as the song hits the airwaves, it belongs to the people. I'm gonna talk about that just real quick. He said, "Bro, you know damn well none of that shit went viral." Lil Reese, you just wish somebody knew you. All right, you have no idea, but that's fine. That's cool. Now when it comes to like talking about separation of the music from the person, the way that I was looking at it when I first thought about it was the easiest scenario I could think of is think about like your community where you live, right? Let's say your car breaks down. You ask somebody, where can I go get my car fixed? They say, go check Man. His shop is around the corner. He's the best. He's a genius when it comes to fixing car. He can fix it for you, right? You bring your car there. You love the work he did. He's fast. He gives you a good deal. You start telling all your people, right? Let's say you just happen to be on the internet. You happen to stumble across the registry. You know what registry I'm talking about, where you can kind of like look in your area, and you see Man's face big as day, and it says the allegations similar to Mr. Kelly, right? Are you going to say Man was a genius at fixing cars? You have to separate his skill from who he is as a person. Are you going to keep going to him? Are you going to keep referring people to him? Probably not. The problem is we put people, celebrities, on a pedestal so high that we either, one, believe everything that they say they did and didn't do, or two, we just look past the facts. We don't care what people say. And it's to the point where we start screaming, free that person, when that person is guilty. You said, but can that mechanic sing? You got me there, Kennedy. He can't sing worth a lick. That was the worst analogy I've ever heard in my life. Don't ever do that again. Yo, Lil Reese, you are low key entertaining. You know what I mean? I hope you follow me, Lil Reese. Follow me. You can come into all my lives. You could heckle me all you want. I wouldn't even care. You said nobody want to hear this, but Off the Wall and Thriller doesn't hold up, but Invincible does. Yeah, we don't want to hear that. Like, you're not gonna hit me with the Off the Wall and Thriller. Come on, over and under Invincible. Yeah, no. R. Kelly didn't mean nothing wrong. He just effing this girl 16 years old. He like young. You're the same way. Oh, Chris. I wish I had a moderator. I'd pack you up right now, Chris. Like, get them out of here, mods. Listen, if you're not following me, please follow me. Please, I don't know how you do it, but like this, if you can, share it. I don't even know how this works. I'm new to doing my lives here, but you said, when was the last time you hit raw? We're not going to discuss what I'll be doing, but every night when I get a chance. I'm in a relationship. That's what happens. You know, when she loves you, you love her. You got kids. You don't worry about all that. You said Kellz wrote a song called "You Are Not Alone for Me," and they was the same. Dion, elaborate. Let me know what that means. All right. So let me see. I want to break down a little info, and then I want to get into this concert in particular when I did this concert. All right. So RKelly is pretty much facing 31 years. He will not see the light until 2045. He will be 79 years old. 79 years old when he gets out. Now, that part right there, just think about that, right? So there's people that believe, oh, he'll be out, he's going to come out soon, and they doing the same thing with Diddy. But what people don't know is Kellz charges is way, 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 way worse. I think Kellz got 11, somewhere between, no, excuse me, he has 22 federal charges he was hit with. Diddy had somewhere in that same bracket, but they knocked the majority of them down and only 2 stuck. And we're just waiting for Diddy to be sentenced, right? But Kellz is sitting on 22 federal charges. Now, part of those charges are in New York. The other part is in Chicago. He received 30 some odd years in New York. He received 20 some odd years in Chicago. He's basically been allowed to, what do you call it? He's allowed to serve the sentences together, as opposed to him doing one sentence and then finishing it at another place, or however that works out. So because of that, that's why he's only facing like 31 years in jail. He could possibly get out for good behavior and stuff like that, but that's not seeming like the case. All right. There's basically like 9 counts. He's been hit with racketeering. He's been hit with sex trafficking. He got some CP. If you know what the CP is, he got enticing minors, and so yeah, he's gonna be there for a minute. Let me see if there's anything else I need to say about that. The victims, there were a total of 11 victims. And 11 victims. Over time, I guess one of the first cases that I'm not sure if he's charged with, but there was a girl who was 15 that he was actively engaging in what he was doing. Her name was Tiffany. Then there's the legal marriage to Aaliyah. I say legal because paperwork and things were changed in order to make him be able to legally marry her, but because she was underage, it was illegal. There were, within this case, there were basically 3, the current cases that he just faced a while back. There were 3 girls that were unnamed. They were basically Jane Doe that were underage, and then there was a girl named Stephanie. I'm not sure per se of her last name. All right. One of the charges that basically the charges that he got, that Diddy got, that are similar, are the charges in reference to transportation, right? It is illegal to transport someone from across state lines with the purpose and intent for illicit activities, and immoral activities. So basically, for the purpose of sex related stuff, prostitution, those things. Um, yeah. So the transportation, Diddy got 2 counts of those. They did not throw that out. Chris says a victim is someone that has been wrong with no conversation, wrong with no conversation. They got a conversation. They're not a victim. What? What definition? Where'd you pull that from? Where did you pull that from? Uh, Diddy and Orange Man are both monsters. We can agree. Um, Alonzo Biggins, he's unstoppable when he smokes that stuff. Cool. Good to know. All right. Now, when it comes to like all that's going on, facing 31 years, the interesting thing is he's been trying to get out. He's appealed the cases, right? And each time they were denied. You only get a certain amount of appeals before ain't a chance in heck you getting out. So he basically appealed, and each time they were denied. So the current things that's going on is last month, 2 things happened. First thing being, allegedly he was sick and was having like mental health kind of crisis. So he was prescribed medication for those things, right? And he had an overdose. So they're saying that because the doctor gave him all these things, he took all these things, following whatever the scenario, like the doctor set up as far as like his medication regime. They're saying that it's the prison's fault that he had that overdose. So I I can't say I've never heard. Yeah, I could say I've never heard of that, but is it believable? Is it not? That's I can't call that. Um, I cannot call that. You said cockatoo is a bird. I guess FBA Hustle, New York. I don't know why. I don't know why you're talking about cockatoos. You probably like 2 cocks. I guess I don't know. All right, so yeah, so allegedly, this overdose is happened because of they basically prescribed them multiple things of medication, right? Generally, when you hear of someone having an overdose, it's because of, I want to say two. Probably there's probably more reasons, but because someone is using illegal substances. The other one is because a person is trying to check out all the way, all the way. And that's neither here nor there. So allegedly, he was supposed to have some kind of surgery, allegedly, during this time of him when he was rushed out of the prison to the hospital because of said overdose. Because allegedly he had blood clots in his leg. And they're claiming that the doctors said that he needed surgery. And this is all like, this is from his people. But he was rushed out of the hospital in handcuffs as soon as they treated him. And they're saying that this is like a form of malpractice and denial of, the service that he needed to help save his life. Right. So because of that, they are basically trying to like use that to say he needs to be released because of medical reasons. Oftentimes you hear of people being locked up, and because of, they're on their deathbed or whatever, they're able to get out, right? And so that's kind of what they're trying to do with R. Kelly. Also, allegedly, there is a murder plot where they're basically, he or somebody came forward, another prisoner in there, and basically said, because this guy is dying, and he felt bad for R. Kelly, he overheard a plot in which the Aryan Brotherhood, and if you know Aryan Brotherhood, they are against people of color. You say, "Am I in a hot car?" Yeah, I would turn the what you call it on, but I'm not like profusely sweating. I'm a little. um, I'm just trying to get this information out. But how are you doing, Shire? Mr. Beaches, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And to answer your question, no. Um, your ears are good. um, what's up, Jermaine Northcross? You said hi. Yeah, so allegedly there's a whole murder plot where R. Kelly's in jail fearing for his life. The Aryan Brotherhood allegedly is trying to come for him. Um, the oddity, you crazy. Yeah, I bet you it is hot in Phoenix. We had little mini heat wave. It wasn't officially a heat wave, but listen, anytime it goes over 99, that's a heat wave for me. Um, is you okay? Is you okay, D? But yeah, so they're trying to use that also, and basically between the judge and all the officials, they're basically saying like he's making a mockery of the court, and he's trying to do anything and everything in order to get out. You might be able to see and or find videos of R. Kelly in jail singing. Whether they're actual videos of him singing, I'm not sure. I say this because there's someone, and that person is probably somewhere in Africa, making AI songs using AI footage, and they release these tracks almost every week, different tracks, and it says that it's R. Kelly, new R. Kelly. That ain't R. Kelly. That ain't R. Kelly. So, yeah. So if you see a new track from R. Kelly, just know that they faking the funk. It is not true. He don't got no new music out. But all right, so now let's take it back just a little bit. Back in, I want to say 2011, 2012. My assistant at the time was like one of my best friends, like a brother to me. Um, he was a huge R. Kelly fan. It looks like I froze there. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So he was a huge R. Kelly fan. This dude would like he'd come pick me up. We going to a gig. He picked me up. R. Kelly's like blasting. He had a DVD in his car. He's playing Trapped in the Closet. Like this dude was a super R. Kelly fan. Cool. Cool. I wasn't a fan. These cases were not fully, they weren't out yet. Nobody knew. Right? It might have been a little bit like it could have been 2013ish. But anyways, nobody knew about what was going on, right? We knew about Aaliyah. We knew about that tape that wasn't that went viral when that tape came out. We wasn't really on the internet like that. So in order to watch that tape, people had to have a hard copy. And usually you go to any of your local bodegas, the little corner shops and stuff like that. It's somebody, your bootlegger, somebody had it on bootleg. Chris Smith, hi, laughed my ass, trapped in the closet. um, but yeah, you pretty much could find that video anywhere. It wasn't on the internet until like recently. But I tell you what, if you go on the internet, please don't search it up. If you got the feds coming to your door, I told you don't do it because that was an underage girl. When that case came out, he got acquitted. It did not mean that he didn't do it. It meant that he was acquitted, right? Because the jurors could not find enough evidence to say it was him. RKelly alleged that it wasn't him; it was his brother. So he got acquitted. But anyways, my boy was a big fan of RKelly, and I used to tell him, if there's an artist that you like, let me know, and I will see if I can get that concert, and we can go and take those photos. One of his favorites was Casey and JoJo. He loved Casey and JoJo from Jodeci, right? Or he loved Jodeci, period. But Casey and JoJo, because remember they had their own little group, just Casey and JoJo. So he was like, I want to be able to see them and meet them. I said, cool. Guess what? I was able to make that happen. We got to hang out with Casey and JoJo and a couple other people. But then I was told RKelly was coming. So it was supposed to be a one-off concert, meaning that the concert he was going to come through, and he was going to do his thing, and that was it. As soon as they posted that RKelly was coming, that concert sold out. The promoters said, we gotta do something. We have to do something, because that was the fastest selling concert that this venue had. So what did the promoters do? They basically did a back-to-back show. So they had 3 concerts that all sold out. And if I'm not mistaken, they brought RKelly twice. And they did the same thing. So basically a total of like 6 shows. It might have been less than 6, but we'll say it was 6 shows. So it sold out, right? Twisted Soul said, jurists and jury members are not the same. Yes, I do know that. Thank you, Twisted Soul. And just in case people don't know who I am, I'm celebrity photographer Ty Waterman. You can follow me here. You can follow me at twitch.tv /BKS Experience. You can also follow me on TikTok at BKS Experience. But yeah, and please make sure you follow me, because I'll be doing more things like this. I'll be talking about other stuff, more positive too. But I just wanted to put these hot topics out, while they're still a little bit hot. And if you can, make sure to like this post, because the more I see this, the more it gives me more things that I can say, this video popped, so I'm gonna do more of these. All right. You said, I believe Diddy was guilty on all charges. I believe he was guilty. What I say, I'm not going to necessarily say all charges, but what I will say is him being found not guilty did not mean he was innocent of those charges. It meant that the basically his team had a better argument than the prosecution. The prosecution could not argue good enough to sway the jury, because it all went into the hands of a jury. Same thing happened with RKelly. Everything went into the hands of the jury, and that's why he's behind bars. His team wasn't good. Diddy had a better team. But yeah, so I get the call. My boy's excited, and I pack it up. We go up to the concert. Concert was off the hook. It was packed. It was wall to wall with fans in this theater. And everybody's waiting for RKelly to come out. They're playing all his music, some of his stuff. They don't really play. They try not to play the artist's music at a concert before they come on, because you're going to see that that artist perform. But So where everybody's waiting, and you see, like, when you look back, it's majority women in the building. Um, it's funny that I was talking about my boy Shane, and it said that he commented. I hope he clicks on this and he knows that I'm talking about that. That would be funny. Shane, if you watching this, say something in the comments. Let let him know. So yeah, so concert gets ready to get started. Security pulls me aside because I'm like in the middle aisle at this point, waiting for him to come on. He says, "Listen, I'm gonna need you to move when I give you the signal to the other side." And I'm looking at him like, "What?" He said, "I need you to move to the other side." And the reason being is because RKelly during the show will pretty much jump off the stage and head to the middle of the crowd where there's another mini stage there. And the stage was basically like I want to say 6x6 platform that was like lit up. I don't know, am I freezing? Can somebody, you probably can hear me, but am I freezing up? Because everything's kind of moving slow on my screen. Let me know if you can see me or hear me. I also see like the numbers dropped a little bit, so I just want to make sure that I want to start telling the story, and then don't want you to miss out. You said a little laggy, but pretty good. Okay, thank you, Twisted. All right, so yeah, so picture this: we're in a big theater. You know how like most theaters are. You have like the mezzanine, which is the flat layer. I think that's what that's called. Then you have the part that goes up. Then there might be one more. Then there's a walkway, and a sound booth, and then you have the layers that go all the way to the back, and then you have the balconies, right? So where the sound booth is, they set up a platform that was 6x6 with all these lights built into it, right? So the lights are shooting up. RKelly does his thing, and he jumps off, and security are right there, and his bodyguards, and they walk him off into the and he stands on the platform and he starts singing. I don't even remember what song. I have a clip of it somewhere, but he starts singing, and the way the platform lit up with all the lights beaming from the bottom up, it was like watching the Tupac hologram. You remember back in the day when they made the little hologram for the awards show and for like Coachella and stuff like that for Tupac? That's exactly what he looked like, but it was actually him. It's just because of how the lighting was. And the crowd was going crazy. They was going crazy for him. I thought it was dope. But then like I said, years later, there's a part of me that's just like, I can see why fans are so drawn to him, but at the same time, how it makes you blind to what they've done, right? There's a couple of people right now who got a lot of fame, like right now, that their fans believe everything that person says. That person, there's a couple. I don't want to say that. I don't want to single anybody out, regardless of their race, their color, whether they're black, white, orange. I don't want to single them out. But people believe what they want to believe, regardless of you putting the truth in front of them. That charisma or Riz, as it's now known, or aura. Now it's aura. Everybody got some kind of aura, or they don't. And RKelly definitely had it to the point that he was able to entice these people, But what I was saying about these photos, the reason why, to me, the reality of me being there, if I was more aware, I would have focused on the stage, because while he was performing, right? Generally, when you're at a concert, the artist is in front of stage. there's usually like curtains off to the side, and there could be a whole slew of people behind the side curtains watching the concert from the stage, right? And people would never know unless you're at like floor level and at an angle that you can see the sides, right? um there was a whole slew of people, mostly girls back there. um why is that even important? Well, when the R. Kelly trials went down, part of the footage and or evidence they used was the fact that every concert he was at, these girls came with him. And the venue in which I was at was listed in the trial because he was there multiple times with these girls. So the biggest, or not, I want to say the biggest, but the charges that he faced in regards to transportation is there. And I'm not talking about Uber transportation. I'm talking about for the purpose of engaging in acts. All right. So yeah, ultimately, you know, you can call him a bad man, you can call him a good man, you can say he's a genius with it, you can say he's the GOAT, you can call him whatever you want to call him, but he is guilty. If not all of those things, there's a lot of things he is guilty of. And like my mama used to say, when I used to get in trouble, and I'd be like, but what about Pumpkin? That's my sister. That's my sister. Why am I always the one that's got to be? Why? What about Pumpkin? You worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. So when people start blaming other people, you just got to kind of worry about yourself. But when we talking about this trial, though, R. Kelly, worry about yourself. Stick to yourself. The narrative of it's the parents' fault, it's the bodyguard, it's the this, it's all y'all. Y'all all guilty if you ask me. But just because you feel the parent has something to do with it, R. Kelly, when you say R. Kelly should be free, it's the parents' fault. No, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So, with that said, listen, I am about to get out of here. If you could please follow me, twitch.tv/BKS Experience. You can follow me here. You can also follow me on TikTok, BKS Experience. You can find me on Instagram at BKS Photographs. If you're watching this thing later on, then please drop in a comment. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Share, like, and subscribe. With that said, I am celebrity photographer Ty Waterman with the BKS Experience. I thank you for taking the time out to listen to me. Shout out to everybody that was in here, including my number one hater, Lil Reese today. I appreciate you, Lil Reese. Twisted Soul, thank you. And there's so many other people that was checking in. There was some wow people here. I can't even like say these names because why give them credit, right? I'm just looking at comments. Dion said Kellz need to write songs for President Trump pardon. Yeah, if Trump decides to pardon him, that would be a whole bag of can of worms or whatever. All right, with that said, I'm out. Y'all take care.